One of the most inexplicable and brutal crimes in recent memory.
They were your neighbors, they were your friends.
Things started going sideways.
A lot of people had suspicions right away.
Where is Lacey and her baby?
He wasn't going to be able to juggle this forever.
The verdict itself is tainted.
This could happen to them. Could it happen to us?
How does a young father-to-be become a death row inmate? Scott Peterson was once known as a friendly and popular athlete.
That's a guy a lot of people can relate to.
With dreams of becoming a professional golfer, he put his plans on hold after meeting the bubbly brunette Lacey Rocha.
They were both at school together and they met and she fell head over heels in love and that was it.
The couple moved in together and later got married, but Scott had a wandering eye and began having secret affairs.
He was just being a young man feeling his oats, no different from 95% of the men in this country.
After graduating from college, they moved to Lacey's California hometown with plans to start a family.
He had a decent job. He belongs to the country club. He wants to be that rich guy with a trophy wife.
In their new home, Lacey was the perfect housewife and was thrilled to discover that she was pregnant.
They tried for 3 years to have a child.
However, Scott's mind was elsewhere.
She said, I asked him to, feel my stomach when the baby kicks, and he never wants to touch my stomach.
In the fall of that year, he was introduced to massage therapist Amber Frey and immediately pursued her.
Scott told me he was not married.
Soon, the pair began having an intimate relationship.
He was hiding a girlfriend.
Weeks later, Lacey vanished.
Police say 27-year-old Lacey Peterson was last seen walking her dog in a neighborhood park on Christmas Eve.
When Scott came home that afternoon from a fishing trip, his wife was nowhere to be found.
Scott's telling me when I interview him, when I get home, her car is in the driveway.
Lacey was reported missing, and her case quickly got the attention of nationwide media.
A California man is anxiously waiting to hear word on the mysterious Christmas Eve disappearance of his pregnant wife.
People saw this photo of this missing woman with the big smile and the brunette hair, 8.5 months pregnant.
All the while, investigators grew suspicious of Scott's behavior.
I remember Scott referring to his wife in the past.
Soon, Scott's secret girlfriend came forward.
We did have a romantic relationship.
She told police that weeks before Lacey's disappearance, Scott told her that he was recently widowed.
He was very emotional and said that this would be the first holidays without her.
Angered by his lies, she cooperated with the police and began recording private conversations between herself and Scott.
The phone rings and it's Scott Peterson. I'm like, that's him. Showtime, girl.
What happened next shocked everybody.
The bodies of Lacey Peterson and her unborn son Connor were found washed up ashore in Richmond, California.
Searching Scott's fishing boat, detectives found Lacey's hair on a pair of pliers.
Prosecutors allege that Peterson killed Lacey on or around Christmas Eve, transported her body in his boat, and tossed her into the San Francisco Bay.
Scott was quickly tracked down.
Fearing he may flee the country, police arrest Scott Peterson near the Mexican border. He's sporting newly dyed hair, a beard, carrying $10,000 in cash, and a passport.
He pleaded not guilty.
I hope you know that I had nothing to do with it.
But the public celebrated when the jury determined he was responsible.
We find the defendant, Scott Lee Peterson, guilty of the crime of murder of Lacey Denise Peterson.
He was sentenced to die by lethal injection. But years later, the California law overturned the death penalty. And recently, Scott returned to court to face Lacey's family.
They heard the judge re-sentence Peterson to life imprisonment, and he is no longer on death row in San Quentin.
Do you think that Scott deserved the death penalty, or is life behind bars enough justice for his actions?